This note provides a comprehensive examination of the claims and evidence surrounding whether Donald Trump, former U.S. president, can be considered a Russian asset. The analysis draws on historical business dealings, political actions, and statements from intelligence sources, aiming to present a balanced view based on available public information as of March 9, 2025. Donald Trump's engagement with Russia dates back to 1987, when he began exploring business opportunities there. He submitted trademark applications for real estate development and repeatedly visited Russia, connecting with developers and government officials. Despite not concluding major deals, individual Russians invested heavily in Trump properties, and following his 1990s bankruptcies, he borrowed money from Russian sources. Both Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump have publicly stated that Russia was a crucial financial lifeline for their businesses. A notable relationship was with Aras Agalarov, a billionaire Russian oligarch, and his son Emin, who partnered with Trump for the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Moscow. This event, hosted at Crocus City Hall, saw Trump mingling with Russian elites, and plans for a Trump Tower in Moscow continued into June 2016. These ties suggest potential avenues for influence, though not direct evidence of asset status. Yuri Shvets, a former KGB major who worked in Washington, D.C. during the 1980s, has claimed that the KGB cultivated Trump as an asset for over 40 years. Shvets, now a U.S. citizen and corporate security investigator, alleged that Trump's first wife, Ivana Zelnikova, a Czech model, brought him onto the KGB's radar in 1977, and by 1980 he was targeted for recruitment. Shvets cited Trump's purchase of 200 television sets from Semyon Kislin, allegedly a KGB-controlled agent, for the Grand Hyatt New York Hotel as an early point of contact. Shvets further claimed that after Trump's 1987 trip to Moscow, he published a full-page ad in major newspapers like the New York Times, criticizing U.S. foreign policy and NATO, which Shvets interpreted as parroting KGB talking points. This ad, costing nearly $100,000, argued for countries like Japan to pay for U.S. defense. As documented in that time, Trump spent nearly $100,000 on an ad criticizing U.S. foreign policy in 1987. While intriguing, these claims lack corroborated evidence and rely on Shvets' personal investigation. The Mueller report, officially titled Report on the Investigation into Russian Interference in the 2016 Presidential Election, was released in April 2019 and found that Russia interfered in the election to favor Trump, but did not establish a criminal conspiracy between his campaign and Russia. The report, led by special counsel Robert Mueller, focused on crime-related issues and did not fully explore counterintelligence aspects, which Shvets criticized as a disappointment. It also detailed 10 episodes of potential obstruction of justice, but did not conclude definitively, leaving room for interpretation. During his presidency, Trump's actions and rhetoric often appeared to align with Russian interests. He praised Vladimir Putin, calling him a strong leader, and expressing trust in him over U.S. intelligence, notably during the 2018 Helsinki summit. He also hesitated to acknowledge Russian interference in the 2016 election and was criticized for his stance on NATO, echoing his 1987 ad's isolationist tone. For instance, in 2025, his administration's conciliatory approach to Russia led some U.S. allies to consider scaling back intelligence sharing. Former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, fired by Trump in 2018, suggested on a podcast in September 2024 that Trump could be seen as a de facto Russian asset, though not in the traditional sense of a recruited agent, citing his interactions with Putin and public statements. This view aligns with concerns raised by intelligence community assessments, such as a 2021 report that labeled Trump a tool in Russia's campaign to weaken the U.S. As of March 9, 2025, there is no definitive proof that Donald Trump is a Russian asset, but the evidence leans toward significant influence and ties with Russian interests. The Mueller report's findings, while not conclusive on asset status, confirmed Russian election interference, and claims from Shvets and others add to the narrative without corroborated evidence. Trump's actions, such as his Helsinki summit stance and 2025 policy shifts, raise questions, but they could also reflect his personal foreign policy views. The debate persists, with intelligence agencies and former officials like McCabe suggesting possible compromise, yet without a smoking gun, the question remains open-ended, inviting further investigation and public discourse.